Crack kids. This is Roden. The kids aren't with me today. Doing some tips and tricks today. Today's lesson is going to be on cylinders, how to draw a cylinder. Just some methods that I have that might help you out. Some basic cylinders, not trying for perfection, just trying for fun. If you can add a cylinder into your bag of tricks, then I think you might have some more fun when you draw. So I hope you enjoy checking this video out, and let's get started. I'm going to be showing you a little bit about how to draw cylinders today. When we start with the basic cylinder, the shape that you see when you go to math class, and then we'll get into things like that exist in the real world that are cylinders. So I'll give you some tips on those as well. Some people say you're going to combine circles and rectangles, or ellipses and rectangles. I actually have a slightly different method that I believe works just as well. So what I like to do first is start with an ellipse. Okay, something like that. I can darken that up later. Then what I want to do is I want to make sure I come down as if this is part of a rectangle. Okay, so pretend I've drawn right across the middle there. And forgive me for the line not being completely straight, but I don't want to use a ruler. I want to do this freehand. And then on the other side, I'll do the same thing. Once I feel like my my cylinder is the right size, and I can always check using a pencil, I'm gonna finish off the bottom by just drawing the same curve that I drew up here on this bottom piece. Now, I'm not gonna make this, actually, I'm gonna show you both. I'm gonna show you what it looks like not see-through, and then I'll show you what it would look like and what line to add to make it see-through. So the first thing that I do is I try to mimic the best that I can. It's okay not to be perfect, this line up here. Always keep an eraser handy. Okay? So you do your best to mimic this line up here. You can see it looks like a pretty decent cylinder. These cylinders are seen in real life everywhere, from drinking containers to pipes to telescopes, you name it. Rolls of tape are cylindrical in nature. Okay, this one looks a lot like a can, like a can that you might, get your green beans out of. Okay, so very simply, in order to make this look see-through, you would then draw the upper part of this ellipse over here. So now the bottom is going to be an ellipse all on its own. Okay, and it's okay to work it. Remember, things aren't always going to be perfect. We're not seeking perfection, we're seeking a good time, a fun time. And if we can draw cylinders, maybe that adds to what we can do and it makes it more fun for us. This is a very basic cylinder. It's not perfect. These ellipses are not perfect. They're not exactly the same, but they're close enough to give you a representation and to give you an idea of how to do this type of drawing. It's okay to work these ellipses until they look a little bit more similar, okay? So you get the idea. There's a cylinder. That one happens to be see-through. We could even show some liquid inside that if we wanted to. Now, without getting too technical, without maybe going a little bit too deep and adding like the thickness of the glass, I'm just gonna pretend it is what it is. We wanna add some liquid in here. We're gonna draw a third line that's gonna mimic the bottom of that ellipse. Again, it does not have to be perfect. Just be close, and have fun with it, okay? And we're gonna continue it all the way around. Again, as long as it's close, it's good. So now we have what looks like some liquid in here, okay? And then we're gonna give it some color. So, it could be water right now, but we're gonna give it some color, and by that, for this particular drawing, I just mean we're gonna shade it in with pencil. Kind of a hack job of a shading job, but You also want to shade the top of the liquid, whatever liquid it might be. Okay. So it looks the same color. But there you have a container full of some sort of liquid. Again, is it perfect? No. Could we erase, make some of these lines look a little cleaner? Absolutely. In fact, depending on how nice you want, if you're just practicing, don't worry about it. If you're making a final draft of a drawing, we'll definitely worry about it, right? Get that thing shaded up, get your finger involved, start blending some of that pencil line together, okay? So that's one. The next one I wanted to show you is a little bit more representative of an actual glass that you might drink out of, because some glasses go straight up and down like this, but not all. You may see like a handle on a glass like this, but I want to show you one that looks a little bit more like what you might drink out of at home. And these can be plastic, these can be glass. Maybe we'll make a plastic one here. Okay, we'll start with an ellipse. However big you want the top of your, in this case, drinking vessel to be. And then we're going to angle it down, so it's almost gonna start to look like a cone. Okay, so we're gonna bring those angles down the best that we can, and we're gonna mimic this inside portion here to be our bottom. Okay, now if we were drawing it see-through, 100% see-through, we would just carry that ellipse all the way around. But we don't need to on this one because we've made it out of plastic. And we can pretend actually that the plastic is any color we want. We can get our colored pencils out, we can get our markers out, we can color this any color we want. What we could also do is represent the liquid on the inside by drawing yet another portion of the ellipses, and this would be mimicking the top piece. Okay, mimicking the top piece. And then suddenly, ooh, look, we have some juice in there. Some grape juice, maybe. Okay. So now we have a drinking container with liquid inside. Pretty neat, right? Okay, the last one I want to share with you is going to be pretty similar. It's actually going to be a little bit of a combo between these two. We're going to draw a coffee cup, okay? Who doesn't know somebody who drinks coffee? Well, of course. There's a great deal of parents out there who drink a lot of coffee, or adults in general. Okay, so for this last one, what I'd like to do is start the same way. We're going to draw an ellipse. Okay, and if you're just not feeling it, it just doesn't feel right, just keep going around and around. Eventually it'll feel okay, and it'll look okay too. You can always erase, but you don't need to. We're just practicing right now. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is our coffee mug is gonna come in slightly. Whoops, it's gonna come in slightly, kind of like this. It's gonna be about that tall. It is definitely okay to turn your paper, and I make this type of arc much easier if I'm going from my left to right, or the way I have it tilted is actually from basically my torso and pushing it out. That's how I like to do it. Now I'm noticing that this line and this line over here are not exactly jiving. So what I mean by jiving is, I mean, they're not like, they weren't the same type of angle, which was really kind of bumming me out. So I fixed it. You can make adjustments, you can make these lines thicker. Again, get it to where you want. Maybe go over it with a Sharpie and erase all the pencil lines. Or go over it darker with pencil if you want it to be a pencil drawing, and erase some of those other lines that aren't needed. I can tell you now that this outward line here is just not needed, okay? It's just not needed. Okay, but I don't mind working that line and showing a thicker line until it gets closer to how I want it to look. Now let's face it, how many of us draw ellipses every day? I know I don't. I like to draw, but I don't draw them every day. And I certainly don't draw cylinders every day, the type of drawing that I do. But it is nice to know how to do it. Now we're gonna put a pretty robust handle on here. Robust just means like big and bulky, strong, okay? So a lot of coffee cups will just have like a half C handle. So that's what we're gonna go with here. Half C handle. All right, and this could be a separate lesson altogether, but to give that coffee cup a little bit of dimension and to make that look like it's a rounded handle, you'd want to make sure you shade, and this is really not for this lesson, but I'll just say it quickly, shade a little bit on the outside, shade a little bit on the inside. Okay, you'd want to take your time a little bit more than this, but okay, pretty dark on the inside, pretty dark on the very outside, and then it would lighten up. It would lighten up pretty quickly, okay? You want to show some white spots where the light is hitting. In next to the cup would be kind of darkish, okay? And then you'd want to gradually get darker as you go down. Okay, and again, this lesson is not intended to be a shading lesson, but just to show you real quick, you can give that handle some dimension, and I really didn't do it justice, but that's the idea. Okay, this part of the mug would be having a hard time getting light as well. Look, we're turning this into a shading lesson evidently, okay? Down at the bottom would be a little harder, okay? Now, we could talk for days about shading, and it could be a whole nother lesson altogether, but let's put some coffee in this cup, okay? We're gonna, again, we're gonna mimic the path of this ellipses, or this ellipse up here. Ooh, shaky hand. I should have turned my paper. So, we're gonna run that right into that side of the cup. We're going to solidify the rim. See how nice and easy that is to do once you've defined where that line is. And now, since coffee's really dark, we're gonna color it in pretty dark. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed the little mini lesson today. It was not intended to be teaching you how to draw perfect cylinders or teaching you the perfect method to do it. I showed you my method. I think it works pretty well. Hopefully you were able to get something out of this little mini lesson. If you need more instruction or you'd like to see something different, hit me up on Instagram. Let me know exactly what you want to see. But that's it for today. Hope you, like I said before, hope you got something out of it. Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed what I drew today. Just a couple of quick ideas on cylinders, a couple of ways you can do it, and then incorporate those into real life things like cups, containers, cans, things like that. So I really hope you enjoyed the lesson today, and until next time, bye.